So it's time to get the Bmw 130i ready for a pretty special trip. Now, any guesses where we may be taking it? Does this give anything away? So, if you haven't already guessed, we are in fact taking the Bmw 130i to Germany, to the Nürburgring. Now, you may be wondering, why am I taking the Bmw 130i to the Nürburgring just a few months after returning from the Nürburgring with the Bmw 760Li? As you can see, UK sticker still on the 760Li. I think it was October last year I took that now, so actually best part of a year that I took that. But yes, we are going to the Nürburgring in the Bmw 130i. I'm not only going to the Nürburgring though, I'm actually doing a kind of a bit of a tour of Europe. So we've had a trip now planned for the best part of 3 years, but as you know, travel over the past couple of years has been difficult, and we are planning on going to an event. So hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, all goes well and we can go to that this year. But as I mentioned, I'm planning on taking this to the Nürburgring, as we are stopping at a few places nearby, so any excuse to take this car to the ring, I'm definitely going to take it. So yeah, as I mentioned, we need to get this car ready, so we don't have too much to do. It's pretty much mechanically sound, but I do want to give it of course a good wash. First and foremost, you know, it hasn't had a clean in, I don't know, however long, you know, good couple of months. Want to do a good clean inside and out, but also want to give it a bit of a service as well, mainly the engine oil and filter. I don't think that's been done for the best part of a year. Probably haven't done that many miles in it, but I like to do it every year or so. And then I also want to do the brake fluid. Of course, if you're doing any kind of track day, you definitely want to make sure that you have fresh brake fluid in. So we'll be doing a full brake fluid flush. I don't know how much detail I'm going to go into in this video. I have videos already how to do a brake fluid flush, how to do a engine oil service, especially on this N52 Bmw 130i. But yeah, I guess I'll show you bits and bobs, and then yeah, we'll get this thing cleaned and of course get the UK sticker on. Alright then, first things first, let's get the engine fired up just so we can get the oil nice and warm. Remove all of the wheels. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You're going to the Nürburgring, so is Misha going to get the chance to drive this car? Hopefully. I have contacted him. I've contacted him, but we're going to try and see if we can make things work. I'm only going to be there for a day or two. So, and he's going to be there on that day, but if we can make, it's just going to be a case if we can make timings work. So yeah, I've done all I can, but I guess time will tell now if Misha gets behind the wheel of this thing. It would definitely be good to meet him, and be good to have this car put through its paces, I think. Another thing I'm kind of wondering about is which tools to take with me. Kind of debating taking a full trolley jack if I can, because we are going to be away for what, 2.5 weeks. There is no Widowmaker jack in the boot of this car. Now, I mentioned this car is mechanically sound. When I say mechanically sound, it hasn't flagged up anything on, like, you know, previous MOTs, apart from I think the rear subframe being a little bit rusted. It's a common problem. I'm not too concerned with that. What that doesn't take into account though is how potentially tired the suspension, bushes, things like that are on this car. I think the only thing that I've really replaced in terms of suspension or steering is the track rods and track rod ends. I think everything else is probably factory, so after 140 odd thousand miles it's probably pretty tired at this point. So after a good couple of laps on the ring, it's probably going to be the end of many suspension components. Do you like beer? Well, who wants some free, new and exclusive beers? The good guys at Beer 52 have collaborated with 8 breweries from across the UK to bring you 8 exclusive beers that you will not find anywhere else. Simply go to www.beer52.com/George and cover just £5.95 postage to receive your free case now. Their industry experts carefully curate a new case every month showcasing the very best craft beer and independent breweries from around the world. Brewgooder's Cold IPA perfectly showcases the UK's most exciting new beer style with zesty citrus taste complemented by notes of freshly cut pine aromas. There's also the AIPA, a beer that's recipe and can artwork was created using an AI design platform by 2 tribes. But if you don't like light beers, simply choose the mixed case and don't forget you get a couple of tasty stacks as well. You can learn about Brewgooder's story and many more fantastic breweries featured in Beer on 10 in the award-winning Ferment magazine. Even if after all of that you're still unsatisfied, you can simply pause or cancel at any time. So that's www.beer52.com/George to claim your free case now. That's beer52.com/George. That'll do. Oh, it should be nice and warm now. Just let that drain back down into the sump. Well, that is warm. Oh, that's too hot to handle. Here we are, this is the old filter. As I said, I don't think I've really done too many miles since replacing this. I believe it was a MAN filter. So the OEM for BMW. Yeah, probably literally covered, I don't know, 2,000 miles or so. But it's always worth changing out. It's a very cheap thing to do, oil and filter, and it just gives you good insurance, I guess, going on a long trip. There we go, that's the oil now draining away as well. Now, you may be wondering if this oil has only covered, say, I don't know, 1,000 to 2,000 miles, why is it so dark, considering it is a, you know, naturally aspirated petrol? Well, this engine has quite a lot of sludge build-up, particularly in the top end. Now, it's definitely not as bad as some of these engines that I've seen. Yeah, some N52 engines are terrible, but I think it was, I guess, early in this car's life, it probably followed the recommended BMW's oil change intervals, which is, I don't know, something ridiculous like 15,000 every 15,000 miles. But since I've owned it, I think I've done like, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 oil changes in like 15,000 miles, and it definitely has improved. It definitely looks a lot cleaner in the head. So hopefully with doing these more frequent oil changes, we clear up some of that sludge. Well, it must be coming out because, like I said, it's coming out very, very dark, so it must be kind of doing its thing. May as well get the new oil filter installed as well. So fresh MAN oil filter, new inner O-ring, new outer O-ring. Let's drop this into place, and I get it torqued down to 25 Newton meters. And now that the oil has finished draining, we'll get our drain plug with new crush washer reinstalled. And I've also just tore that down to 25 Newton meters as well. And now for the oil change, all we need to do is fill up with oil. Now these engines, N52, I think it takes around 6.5 litres to 7 litres. So we'll put in about 6, see where we're at, and then fire up. Okay, so there should be around 6 litres, maybe a little bit more in now, and I'm just gonna put the ignition on and see if we have enough oil to start. It still frightens me to this day, these electronic dipsticks. It's not an instant read and you have to start up the engine to get a fairly accurate reading. Like, it just says OK. Like, what does OK even mean? I guess it means OK to start, but we're never going to know if it's like, you know, a litre, you know, if we need to add a litre until it gets somewhat up to temperature. Well, I guess here goes anyway. Straight away we have a tapping noise. 99% sure that is the hydraulic lifters though. Yeah, I know for sure that's the hydraulic lifters. So this is going to need a good blast to get rid of that tapping sound. Okay, so another half a litre added, should be around 6.5 litres in total now. So we should be somewhere close to the maximum mark, but I'm going to leave that for now. Like I said, I'll do that, you know, to the maximum mark once we can take it for a drive. But as the car is up in the air, all the wheels are removed, we can now bleed all the brakes. I'm going to put about a litre of fresh fluid through the system. So just lift off this cover. We have access to the brake fluid reservoir. Again, I want to say this was changed like a year ago, but you know, for the sake of a bottle of brake fluid and a little bit of time, it's always worth swapping out. So yeah, I'll probably wrap up, do this quickly. No need to show you, as I said, I've got many videos of me doing this whole procedure. But yeah, I'll do that, and I can get the wheels back on, get it back on the ground, and then we can give this thing a good, thorough deep clean. Okay then, so brake fluid flush now done. This is all of the old fluid. Like I said, really wasn't too bad. I don't think there was a whole lot of air in the system, if any, but yeah, it's just as well that we have done a full flush before the big trip. And I think while I have the car up in the air, I'm going to do the first stage of washing it. Just going to give the wheel arches a bit of a clean. Of course, you don't really have the opportunity to do this when the car's on the ground, so may as well make the most of the situation. Get rid of all this road dirt. So then, as you can probably tell, some time has passed. The car is now back on the ground, wheels are back on of course, and I actually just cracked on and got this thing clean both on the exterior and inside as well. It's probably the best this car has looked in a long time, to be honest. Showing it some much needed love. These wheels just look so good when freshly clean, along with the bright yellow calipers. Really does come up smart, this car. Also went ahead and installed the UK sticker. Didn't want to put it onto the paintwork just in case when it comes to peeling this off it decides to take a chunk of the paintwork with it. I wouldn't be surprised, this car has had a bunch of paintwork in the past, and you know, majority of it has not been done to, at least to my standard, so I wouldn't be surprised if you pull this off and half of the paintwork comes along with it. But is it me, or does this look very small? This, I mean, like the one on the 760 is like that big. This one looks very small to me, but I guess it's, you know, it's got to be road legal, otherwise they wouldn't sell one that small. But yeah, it does look very small, if I'm being honest. Also gave the tips a quick polish. They've come up nicely. But yeah, car now nice and clean. Engine oil and filter done. Brake fluid flush all round done. Next, what we need to do is get this car loaded up and then do some essential checks like tyre pressures, engine oil level, coolant, power steering fluid, all that good stuff. And I guess we can get this thing on the road. Okay then, so I'm going to leave all of that boring stuff till tomorrow, like, you know, checking the tyre pressures, oil level, coolant level, all that stuff. Yeah, I've done as much as I need to do. I'll probably load up the car in the morning. I think I am going to take the trolley jack. Hopefully, you know, I never need it, fingers crossed, you know, I don't need it. I also have a small tool bag as well. I mean, you could take your whole toolkit, I guess. You could take, you know, loads and loads and loads of tools, but never ever need them. I guess if worse comes to worse, you know, I have breakdown cover, I can always go to a garage. And with that being said, I'm not anticipating breaking down. So yeah, like I said, fingers crossed that nothing happens. But yeah, let me know, when you go on a long road trip, in your own car of course, do you bother taking tools, or am I just being a bit over the top? Let me know, I'm interested to know your thoughts. But yeah, in terms of the trip, I probably should be excited. You know, like I said, this is like, I think 3 years in the making. We're sort of going all around Europe. One of them places we'll be stopping at is of course the Nürburgring. Yeah, I should be excited for it, but I've just been so busy with one thing and another lately. That's why I've had the lack of videos on the channel, so I do apologize about that. But when I get back, videos are going to be flying at you guys left, right and center. I'm sure I'll have a few videos from the trip as well, so look forward to them. But yeah, I want to thank you all for watching anyway. Please remember to give this one a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I will see you all in the next one.